Senator Hwang, you have focused all of your career not only on public service but in civics as well, in engagement, in participatory democracy, and I'm just really honored to have you here today. Welcome, Senator Hwang.
Thank you, Stephen, for hosting this summit. I want to acknowledge all the dignitaries from state to federal that are here, but I also want to acknowledge all the participants that will be on the panels. Thank you for your leadership on a grassroots level. It's truly important that we begin this process of awareness and education. We don't need to wait till 25, 26. And I think that's an important part of this summit, is to kickstart this important awareness and engagement. I think it's truly important for us to discuss this curriculum in the sense of raising awareness, to creating a better sense of understanding and engagement. I always believe in my favorite quote of George Santayana, that for those that don't remember their history, we are condemned to repeat it. This is what this curriculum and education focus is all about. This is about raising the awareness of Asian Pacific Americans' contributions in American society, but also the obstacles and the hardships that we've encountered, such as the Yellow Peril. William Randolph Hearst, who to this day has his name on a national newspaper, and he freely used the Yellow Peril, yellow fever, to denigrate the Asian American community. We also must remember that the internment occurred, the first and only internment of Americans in this country's history. And it occurred from a Supreme Court decision of Korematsu versus United States. I encourage people to read that case, because we need to understand part of the education and awareness is understanding how such cases can be judged against a group of Americans. I think the other aspect that we need to look at is learning that violence has occurred against our community. The case of Vincent Chen in Detroit. There are very few in our society and in our communities growing up that fully understand the impact of the Vincent Chen murders. But the bottom line is, we have an opportunity to educate. We have an opportunity to engage with people, to be judged as individuals, not as a group of, quote, model minorities. I think one of the things that I've worked on in the past number of years that's critically important is the fact that we're looking at data disaggregation. It's a big term from a standpoint of singling out a group of Asian Pacific Americans in a subcategory. And there is a real concern that unless we're fully aware of it, that it may impact admissions to highly selective colleges. It may impact, again, the selectivity and the singling out of any racial minority group. So the bottom line is, this curriculum, this important step forward, is about equality, but it's also about awareness and respect and understanding. And I think if we make an effort to fully engage in that, to fully educate a full generation, not just of students, but a generation of our communities, I think we will have a much more robust and engaged community that will celebrate the diversity that is ultimately the greatness of this country. So, Stephen, thank you very much for having me. I'm thrilled to be a part of this, and more importantly, I'm thrilled to continue to be a part of the engagement. And I want to acknowledge Megan Baker's hard work in making this happen. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.